So I think a little while ago, our friend Mitra said, "Boy, I would love it if you guys reviewed or got like did a rap album."
Yeah.
And she specifically called me up. She's like, "I want to see Kellen talk about rap," thinking that I don't listen to rap or listen to hip hop. Again, I understand. I
Well,
look like a
Joel
real.
and I seem like we have way more
Yeah,
street cred than
exactly.
you.
That's something to be said right there.
Yeah. So there was a part of me that was like, all right, well, if we're gonna listen to rap, what's one of my favorite rap albums? And that would be Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory, which is just one of my all-time favorite albums. And specifically in terms of if someone is getting into rap, I think it's a really great album in terms of understanding a bridge between sort of the early 70s, 80s, late 80s, and 90s, sort of what rap was, as it is then transitioning into what it then later becomes in the 90s with Biggie and Tupac and the rest of the sort of the future with rap and, you know, Jay-Z and the rest of those solo artists kind of coming out of that. Tribe already has a huge hit on their first album with some really great singles. And then this album comes out and it's the Pinkerton of their Blue album, right? It is avant-garde, it is strange, it is more jazz and hip hop than rap. There's R&B influences. It is really a beautiful album. The lyrics are incredible, and I think you could listen to this album today and it still holds up, and it could be recorded today and you would hear it on SoundCloud. You know, Joel, you're the consummate oldie of the group.
Thank you for that reminder.
You were
Thank
you were 30, 32 when this album came out?
Just about
33 actually. No, I love hip hop. I've always loved hip hop. I've always loved rap. I've always loved this style. This album, to me, so hip hop has two elements that always need to be like hidden for me. That's going to be lyrics and that's going to be beats, right? That's really, to me, what hip hop has to have for it to really be like fire. Lyrics in this are absolute fire. My only criticism of it is that the beat is pretty much the same the entire album.
And
that's
the
same style.
thing.
That's the style of the time, right? It is this very unique style of, here's the beat, and the beat is not the thing that's forward as opposed to today. You think about Kanye, you think about a lot of other artists. They want the beat to be as complicated, if not more complicated, than the lyrics itself. But in terms of the history, the lineage of R&B
hip hop
and rap, this is right there. When you're listening to Public Enemy, you're listening to NWA, you're listening to all the other artists at the time, Ice Cube, Ice-T,
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill. They're all similar, where it's like, here's the beat and the beat is in the background, right? And you think the same thing with Beastie Boys that way too. Their first album, that beat is in the way back, and it's not until the middle of the 90s where people start messing around, where the DJ becomes an integral part of what the band is. And again, you can see Midnight Marauders, that those beats are much more complicated and the lyrics are just the same way. But I understand the critique. What about you, BJ?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun album. Like, my only critique was, as I was like listening to it the way that Joel was I was like, the beat is like very similar throughout the entire thing. But the whole album to me just reminds me of like relaxing. Like, reminds me of my college days when I was just like hanging out and it was a sunny day and it's the weekend and my friends and I are just like chilling. We're drinking, we're throwing a Frisbee around, and we're just like, just having fun and not caring. And I think like it's just like a really nice hip hop album that is very lyric forward, which I think says a lot, because we talk about lyrics a lot on this show, and it's easy to hide kind of like basic crappy lyrics in a rock song that has guitars and drums and things like that. But when you're doing like a hip hop album, unless like you said, like the beat is like super something that is like forward in it, you got to have lyrics that people can listen to and speak to. And I think that the like early 90s and late 80s like hip hop guys, like those lyrics were like meaningful and they meant something. They weren't just like, they weren't putting this out because they wanted to get radio airplay or they wanted to hear it played in a club or any place like that. Like, that wasn't the purpose of it. Like, this is like a true like hip hop art form, and like you can tell like that they are just like actual, like these guys are like lyrical geniuses the way that they put things together, and I can really appreciate that.